As world leaders and news outlets proclaimed peace between Israel and the UAE, rockets and explosive balloons continued to pour into Israel from Gaza. What's the connection?
This deal can either be a great blessing or it can be a disaster. It's a blessing if the United Arab Emirates stops funding the incitement of UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. Right now, the UAE is the #5 funder of UNRWA, and UNRWA has a curriculum based on war on the Jews.
David Bedine heads the Center for Near East Policy Research. For years, his group has investigated what's taught to Palestinian children in UNRWA schools and shown it to the world in documentaries like this one. Most Palestinian children in Gaza attend schools teaching this hate.
So that the curriculum, which we have painstakingly gone through, all 364 school books, which mandates that children have to be trained for belligerence against Israel, to take up arms against Israel. Their slogan is the right of return by force of arms. This is the only way to stop it, is to go to the donor countries.
Gaza children went back to school in early August, while nearby young people were launching fire and explosive balloons at Israel.
The school year has begun on the wrong foot with Hamas, which controls UNRWA basically, firing all of Israel. Well, that can be restrained.
And Bedine feels that begins with pressure on the UAE to take full advantage of the peace opportunity.
The U.S. and Israel are approaching this major donor nation to UNRWA, UAE. Now is the time to say, now this is a time of good feelings, this is a time of business, this is a time of euphoria. Let's use the euphoria in a direct way.
Currently, the school curriculum is written by the Palestinian Authority. Bedine wants to see a different approach to education, written and taught by Palestinians who want peace. He believes had the U.S. and Israel insisted on that approach during the Oslo Accords back in the 90s, things would be different today. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.